I got to try 10 different demos from indie developers as part of steamnextfest 2023, and I am really excited to share my thoughts and opinions with you on each of those and which ones should be going on your wish list. I'll go through this list in the order I played them, and will link any relevant videos or streams in the description below. Broken Roads. This is a tactical CRPG in post-apocalyptic Australia, developed by Drop Bear Bytes, and the publisher is Versus Evil. I released a video of the demo gameplay last week. This really reminded me of Wasteland 3 in its setup, the characters, the environments, the combat. This is turn-based combat. For those who like that kind of setup, I think you will really like the way it's handled here. Solid voice acting, great music, interesting characters. The morality and choice system that they went with here was really interesting. It was based on different parts of philosophy, such as Machiavelli, humanist. So a really interesting way of doing that. They even have you take a little quiz in the beginning that helps determine where you start on that morality pie chart, essentially, that they give you. I really can't say anything negative about this. I didn't run into any issues. I enjoyed all of the parts of the demo that I played through. The demo is probably about an hour and a half or so. It may take you a bit longer depending on how much time you spend wandering and speaking to NPCs. Some of the NPCs will just, say a little line and that'll be it. And then some of them you can actually interact with and get more information on who they are and what they do. I really can't say enough good things about this game though. I just really loved the experience. This game has been getting a lot of good positive press lately too. I believe it's showed up in a very big gamer magazine in the UK just recently. So should this be on your wish list? Yes, absolutely, and it is definitely on mine, and I can't wait for its release. Next we have Paleo Pines, a farming sim with dinosaurs. The developer is Italic Pig and the publisher is Dead Good Media. I ended up streaming this one last week. This has a different art style than Stardew Valley, but definitely reminded me of it. Stardew Valley is another great farming sim, so kind of makes sense. Also reminded me a bit of the Harvest Moon games. It has just a really cute aesthetic to it. All the characters are cute. The dinosaurs are, of course, adorable. That's kind of the point, right? But it did have some, interesting characters in there. Characters with varying personalities in them. So I was glad to see there was some investment in that. I think it was a great idea to combine the idea of a farming sim with dinosaurs. I mean, how much better can you get than that, right? So it's a very cozy game, very cute. The music is cute. Everything about it is cute, just like an overload of cuteness. So if you're really into cozy games like that, Stardew Valley and stuff, this is for you, definitely. I really didn't experience any issues with it, and I can't really say anything negative about it. It's just freaking adorable, and it's on my wish list and should be on yours too. Next up is Devil's Island. Developer and publisher for this game is Never Say Never. It is a zombie FPS with survival elements. Unfortunately, I can't really say good things about this game. It was very rough. It needs a lot of love and work. It didn't feel like there was a whole lot of passion behind it. It kind of felt like it was a cobblestoning together of things. The sound effects were very loud and overwhelming. The graphics were super choppy. I had enemies glitching into walls and stuff. There were some pieces of a tutorial, but they were very few and far between, and I didn't find them all that helpful, to be honest. You just kind of get thrown into it, into a world that you don't know what the point of the world is. I don't know what the story was really trying to be. Like, when you first get thrown in, you approach this zombie who's over a grave, and I think he says, "Help me," and then he disappears, and it's like, okay, well, maybe there's a start to a story there. But then throughout the rest of the demo, it's not like you're seeing him again or really getting hints of him, at least not from what I can tell. There was this part where you pick up a paper that has like scriptures on it, and you're like, okay, how is this even relevant? Yeah, super duper rough, and the battle music was actually a little bit funny because of how abrupt it was. So, like, what the heck? Unfortunately, this one did not make my wish list, and I can't recommend it right now. I hope that the developer spends more time on it and really works out this roughness, but honestly, I don't think it was ready for presentation in a demo. I think they should have held off. So best of luck to the developer on this one. I hope they're able to meet their goals with it. Next is Blue June, developed and published by Tiny Dodo Games. This is a narrative adventure with some puzzle and horror elements. I streamed it last week. This one was just very beautiful in all ways. The music was atmospheric, and even though the graphics were simple, they were charming and artfully muted. Definitely has some Life is Strange vibes, which is kind of how it was advertised, so I totally see that. It did have puzzles in it that were challenging, but I wouldn't say over the top. Gave the appearance that it has a deep and moving story. The demo was about an hour long, so it doesn't reveal too much, but I think it reveals just enough that you can get an idea of whether it's for you or not. Trauma seems to be a really important theme in this. This one is on my wish list and should be on yours. Next is Let's School, developed and published by Parthia Games. It is a school sim / city builder. I did do a video on this one. Very cute aesthetic, cute music. Well, holy crap, it was way more challenging than I expected. There are so many systems to learn and manage. I had the most trouble with the school schedule, trying to balance it out so that the students don't fail. You would think, oh, that shouldn't be too difficult, right? Just make sure you have enough teachers. No, it's way more complicated than that. This game reminded me of things like Roller Coaster Tycoon and Sim City, but I would say that the challenge level of it is up there with games like City Skylines. Challenge accepted. Definitely caught my eye. I definitely enjoyed it. It is on my wish list and it should be on yours. Next is Drake, developed and published by Solar Suit Games. It is a top-down sci-fi RPG and shooter. I have a little bit of good and a little bit of bad to say about this one, and I think the bad is kind of biased. So the environmental graphics were good, but I felt that the graphics in-game for the characters weren't that great. It was just kind of, you could get away with it. The sketches for the characters, however, used during dialogue were very good. I felt the music was also very good, and the gameplay was smooth. I didn't run into any issues in anything. The story seemed relatively interesting, and the characters seemed okay. The issue that I take with it, again, it's biased, but I'm not a fan of top-down shooters. They always feel kind of awkward to me. They don't feel quite right. I feel like I can't see things well enough. I feel like I can't react quick enough. So this one, unfortunately, did not make my wish list because of that. However, I do think that if you enjoy top-down shooters, this should be on your wish list. Next up is Cyber Knights, developed and published by Treese Brothers. It is a tactical sci-fi CRPG. The character graphics look a little bit plastic to me, like they kind of look like toys, and that was a little bit off-putting. The environmental graphics were fine, but the characters just look weird. The music was good. I did run into a minor bug where characters would run into the barrier instead of jumping over it, but I'm not really too surprised by that. I kind of expected to run into bugs in any of these games, so I'm not very off-put by that. There is a customization system. It wasn't available for the demo, but I'm glad that they have the option. Mostly this game reminded me of XCOM, and I'm a big XCOM fan, like huge XCOM fan. It scratches so many itches for me. So it reminded me of XCOM in terms of its combat system. Can't really say it's like it in the rest of the ways because I didn't see enough of it. So I haven't put this one on my wish list yet. However, I am following the game, and it may end up on there. I'm just not sure yet. Next up is Gourd. The developer is Covenant, and the publisher is Team 17. This is a survival RTS kind of colony sim. Got a lot of great things to say about this one. This was one of my favorites. So it's got great music, which I felt was very similar to the music in Witcher 3. Really solid cutscenes. The graphics aren't gonna like blow you away or anything, but they were just good. They were well acted. The character sketches are really well done in this. The voice acting is solid. What I also liked was it had a clear and succinct tutorial. I didn't feel like all the demos did like a great job on their tutorial tutorials this one did. The environmental graphics were solid. I didn't really get into the lore while playing the demo, but I did see that there was a lot of lore available, which is great. This game reminded me a lot of Frostpunk, and I'm a big Frostpunk fan, very much looking forward to the second one coming out. But it also had some elements of like Civilization and Thea the Awakening. So if you're into those kind of strategical games, I think you're really going to be into this one. I was very impressed. It's on my wish list and it should be on yours. Next is the Muller-Powell Principle, developed by 3 Dots Games and published by Take Aim Games. This is a sci-fi puzzle / exploration first-person adventure. It had good music and good graphics. Some of the voice acting was really good, and then some of it was like, oh, yeah, I think you needed a little bit more time on that. You didn't sound prepared. It did seem to have an interesting mystery unfolding from what I saw of the demo. Doesn't really explain much in the beginning, but I didn't feel like it needed to. I felt like it was one of those things that should unfold slowly as you go. It was a little bit scary at times, definitely off-putting, some rising tension, but not so much that, you couldn't get through it if you are someone who doesn't handle scary games that well, like myself. The only negative I really felt about it was that jumping was just such a pain. Like if you needed to jump to a higher ledge, it was so aggravating. Now you can use this physics systems it has to like move objects around so that you can like jump on the object like some kind of crate and then jump up, but it was still like a really big pain in the butt. For this one, I haven't put it on my wish list yet, but again, I am following it and considering it going on it. I think it's got potential. And last but certainly not least, we have Cat Sax. The developer and publisher is Comma Crash. This is a hidden object puzzle game, and I streamed it last week. And this is another game where it's just cute overload. Very cute graphics, the music is cute. You can tell that the maker is a lover of cats because cats are just everywhere, right? Like, that's in the name. I found the hidden object and puzzles to be challenging, but not impossible. It's a very casual and low-key play game. This is a good game for when you just want to chill out and you just want to feel cute. Great for lovers of things like Where's Waldo and Rube Goldberg. This is on my wish list and it should be on yours. And in addition, make sure to check out the Kickstarter. I'll put it in the description. And there we have it. 10 demos from Steam Next Fest 2023. Did you get to play any demos during Steam Next Fest? What did you really like? What did you think, that could have been better? Put it in the comments. Can't wait to hear what you got to try.